Operators of the Ukrainian 14th Separate Regiment of the Unmanned Aerial Systems have launched rocket artillery at enemy concentrations in the Kursk Oblast. This is reported by the press service of the Unmanned Systems Forces. The press service also added that the affected units were gathering to prepare for assault operations against the positions of the armed forces of Ukraine. The video shows how enemy forces gather near the pontoon crossing of the Seam River, after which the group is struck with 2 cluster munitions. The surviving enemy personnel sought cover without dispersing. Instead, they regrouped, and their position was struck once more. Meanwhile, paratroopers of the 46th Airmobile Brigade repelled a massive mechanized assault by the Russian, which involved 46 units of equipment. It is reported that the Russians divided the assault operation into 4 waves, during which 46 units of equipment in total attacked the paratroopers' positions. To repel the assaults, the paratroopers used the entire range of weapons available and destroyed 9 infantry fighting vehicles, 2 tanks, 2 armored personnel carriers, and 2 motorcycles. In addition, 11 infantry fighting vehicles were disabled as a result of fire damage. The brigade says it has never seen such a number of destroyed and damaged vehicles in one day in the area of the paratroopers' responsibility. According to the published footage, artillery, bomber drones, and FPV drones were actively used to repel the assault. As previously reported, on September 10, 2024, Russian troops launched an offensive in the Kursk Oblast to push the Ukrainian defense forces out of Russia. A Russian armored group attacked the village of Snagost from the side of the village of Koronevo. In response, the Ukrainian defense forces made a breakthrough on a new section of the front in the Kursk Oblast, threatening the flank of the advancing Russian group. The breakthrough of the Russian border occurred in the area towards the village of Vesely. Due to engineering reconnaissance, the offensive routes were prepared, allowing the troops to cross the border unhindered and safely continue to move through enemy territory. Today, there are a lot of updates from the Kharkov direction. Here, in a shocking turn of events, Russian forces have launched a series of high-casualty meat wave assaults on the town of Vodyan, near Vuhledar. These devastating attacks, with soldiers advancing over the bodies of their fallen comrades, have left military analysts questioning how long Russia can sustain such a costly and desperate strategy before once again rolling back and nullifying their gains. Russian forces have altered their approach in their renewed effort to capture Vuhledar. Instead of relying on direct frontal assaults as they did before, they are now attempting to encircle the town, launching coordinated offensives from the south and northeast. The Russian strategy for the northern pincer hinges on crossing the T-0532 highway and capturing the town of Vodyan. Once they establish fortified positions there, the plan is to advance southward toward the South Donbass coal mine. Russian commanders believe that seizing control of this key facility would significantly boost their chances of finally taking Vuhledar, a strategic objective that has remained out of reach for over 2.5 years. Recent geolocated footage has captured a series of intense and costly Russian assaults on Vodyan. In one particularly disastrous attempt, around 10 motorcycles advanced from the northern flank of the Vuhledar front. This tactic, previously used by Russian forces in other sectors with often catastrophic outcomes due to the lack of protection for the riders, underscores their continued reliance on high-risk strategies despite repeated failures. Even more disturbing footage captures the grim continuation and conclusion of this ill-fated motorcycle assault. The images reveal a Russian meat wave attack, with dozens of soldiers advancing under relentless mortar fire. Russian troops are seen literally marching over the bodies of their fallen comrades, showcasing the brutal nature of these saturation tactics. Ukrainian soldiers report that the relentless infantry-heavy assaults enable small groups of surviving Russian troops to make incremental advances, as the sheer volume of attackers makes it difficult to eliminate them all. Survivors from the initial waves regroup in tree lines and small dugouts. Once enough have gathered, they push forward again. While Ukrainian forces focus on neutralizing the nearest threats, Russian reinforcements continue to bolster the lines behind. This tactic allows Russian forces to inch closer to the village, advancing tree line by tree line, and eventually infiltrating buildings and hiding in basements until another critical mass is formed. This slow, high-casualty strategy explains Russia's gradual, albeit costly, advance toward Vadyane.